All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we are doing a viewer request video looking at CVNA, VRM, and ATER. Look, I was bullish about Carvana a couple days ago, and this bad boy has delivered. All right, look, I am not here to my opinions about their earnings means nothing. All right, first off, I didn't even read it. I didn't look at any of it. Honestly, I don't even think I didn't look at a headline. All right, all I knew is this bad boy started to run after the earnings. All right, and whether you like the earnings, whether you didn't, whether none of that matters. Like, your opinion and my opinion is the same, and it means nothing. What I care about is, did the market like it or not? And if it did, it should continue up. If it didn't, if the market didn't like the earnings, it's probably going to continue down. You know what I mean? So, truth be told, I actually really wish I added a little bit more here. I think I gave it a little bit of like this meme stock hesitation versus a good earnings and good technical movement kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I'm actually a little sad I didn't like average up or a couple other things that I think would have done on a different stock, right? But yeah, yesterday was beautiful. It confirms, it breaks a line, and yeah, it actually was no surprise that we get another double digit today. You know what I mean? So we'll talk about the details shortly, but real quick, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how this thing is setting up short term. We do have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this thing anywhere on the internet, comment, whatever. Anything you can do does help with the YouTube algorithms. But for real, giving me your valuable time and watching this thing is beyond appreciated, all right? And look, I'm not perfect. I'm not all-knowing. I definitely get things wrong. So if you've got better opinions than me, I would very much love to hear them, okay? Carvana, one more time, dropping the hammer, doing what it was supposed to do, right? And again, very much on actual real news, actual earnings release, and actual, earnings, right? It's not just some random meme movement or whatever, right? So, few things to talk about down here, and then obviously, 80% of the work's up here. Look, we crushed that 50 line for the last few days, the last 4 especially, but even this early one, this was obviously before the earnings, right? But man, it's beautiful to see not just good green candles, but monster over the 50 average, right? This line down here. All right, good volume. Volume is king, and we can see it here. There's a lot to like when the RSI and the MACD are both kind of doing the same thing. You get what I mean? Like, this is why we use both of these instead of just one. I like knowing that they're both saying the same thing. I'd like the MACD to be positive. I like the RSI to be under a certain range. But for the most part, I need them to both be green over red, and hopefully both kind of going away from the red line with that same, ooh, go away kind of slope, right? Couple things to call out for sure. This is an 80 RSI, all right? 80 is a high number. 80 is where I'm going to start saying, hey, I'm not going to be surprised if we start seeing a little bit of a sell-off, because let's be honest, someone's made some really good money. Let's just take it from here, right? Going from 9 to basically 13 is a really good percentage, right? You're going 3, 6, 9, 12, a little more than that, right? So there's only a couple $3 in that 9. So someone has made a beautiful double-digit percentage with very little, difficulty. I wouldn't be surprised to see some selling, right? And maybe we would come to 50% candle around 1270. Maybe we'll come back to the 1172. I don't think this would come any lower than 1130. I'll be honest, if this thing comes around 1130, I'd consider seeing what it looks like and seeing if there's a recovery. So, but yeah, you gotta love the 8 moving average wanting to go violently up. I see the 20 wanting to go up as well. These look pretty, right? And look, so far so good with these resistance lines. You know what I mean? We pretty much go to this and stop. We pretty much go to this and break. We pretty much go to this and stop, right? So I'm actually really happy with my resistance lines. And look, at this point, the question's gonna be, are we going to run all the way up to 1570, which is the 200 moving average? Is this 1334 and 80 RSI going to be too much of a combination? We're going to go down, right? So aside from those numbers that I just gave you downward, I would say if we don't go that way, there's a real good shot we come straight to 1750. Maybe we stop around 1450. But even a buck 50 on this thing, again, you can see a buck 50 is still going to bring another double digit gainer. You know what I mean? So overall, I'm very, very bullish here. And honestly, despite me saying it's going to come back down to 1170 potentially, yeah, I still like everything I'm seeing. And I imagine the weekly, yeah, that's a sexy weekly. We've broken 2 moving averages last week. And yeah, this is what I would call good confirmation of that. And it actually makes me believe we might even come all the way up to $17 by next week. I wouldn't be that surprised at all. So I love what I'm seeing. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? So let's just see what the 80 RSI and the 1334 line do. Honestly, I don't think we'll break this. I think coming to this would take the RSI a little too high. But let me just draw the next. Oh, Jesus. Woo. Oh, my goodness. All right. So this is kind of insignificant. I don't even know if that's worth drawing, honestly. I'll leave it there. Let me just draw it, but I don't even think that that's too hard. Let me take 50% of you. What do you look like? I'll take that. I think I'm okay with that line. I think those are our next 2 steps up. Again, assuming the 20 breaks, right? But yeah, I'm loving this actually. All right, VRM. I don't know what this looks like, and I'm a little excited to see. Oh, wow, that is not what I expected to see. Interesting. Ooh, okay, so let me talk a couple things out in my head right now as I swear I'm looking at this for the first time, all right? Look, Carvana for sure is a meme stock, all right? And I'm not pretending that that thing is not on a different level because of that. That said, Vroom, VRM, is actually in the same sector as Carvana, right? Like, look at these words right here, consumer cyclical, auto and truck dealerships. I imagine that's what it said on the back of specialty retail. All right, so this system's not going to necessarily consider them like equal like that, but yeah, in my opinion, they're both like doing car shit, right? Like, I'm going to just simplify it like that, right? So I actually very much thought that it would keep going up with Carvana. You know, again, I don't know if there were earnings today and this is a little bit of an earnings thing or not. I'll be honest, like I said, I haven't looked at this stock in a while, but if you go back a few old videos when I was looking at meme stocks a little more, I actually for real rode and made good money on Vroom and Carvana at the same time. There were a couple, and look, I'll be honest, I don't know how long it was. It might have been some of the, like, I for real don't remember. Maybe it was this one. Regardless, all right? Like, I do look at the two of them together. In a little bit of a way, I'm kind of disappointed at myself for not looking at Vroom, even though I had money in Carvana. Honestly, like, I think this was a really, really good viewer request because you hear me say it often, right? Like, I do my sector reviews for a reason. I do them a little less because honestly, like, the viewership isn't as hot, I'll be honest. But I look at AI stocks generally on the same day. I look at weed stocks generally on the same day because, yeah, it's important to know what one looks like because the other should kind of go that way, all right? Everything I just said, let me just call out a couple things. Today looks super ugly, for sure, right? That said, look, it should have been uglier. We actually opened down here at 0.8, but close up here at 0.4. More people actually made 5% up, right? 4 cents is about half of the 8, right? So that's 5%. Then I actually believe people lost money, all right? Today was a good, bad day. Obviously, it was bad. We were up here the day before and we're down here now, right? Like, no one wants that. But this wasn't bad. And more than anything, instead of losing all 4 lines, which it looked like it wanted to do, we actually peak back in. So as long as we can actually hold the 8 moving average, look, green, red. That's fine with me. Just go back up, right? If we lose, I would for sure have a stop loss set. I think at around 8. Depends how much of a gambler you are. If you're willing to eat another 5% loss, I would put my stop loss, I think, at 79 cents. I would. I think I'd watch another 5 cents lose here, which again is a pretty big percentage. It's not an insignificant one, right? But My goal would actually be, let's stay in these moving averages. Let's see. But again, let me just say one more thing. I'm kind of talking about Carvana maybe coming down. And if Carvana calms down tomorrow, I think this will do. Watch Carvana with this stock. I think tomorrow the two should move the same. If one goes up, I think the other will. If Carvana goes down, I think this will go down even more drastically. But yeah, I just want to stress the call out of connecting the two together. I've ran a little bit longer on this than I wanted. I want to throw in the third stock. Let's just see what the weekly looks like. That's not a good weekly. I think a lot of the story here was actually the weekly. We haven't even crossed the 8 moving average on a single week in a good while, let alone the 20, right? So I think I'm a little more skeptical here now that I see this. But again, I think if Carvana can do well, maybe this one will too. For real, if Carvana drops to like that 1170 that I'm not worried about on Carvana, I would be super worried that this thing goes even deeper in all-time lows, which is what I'm imagining we're basically at, and we are, right? So, yeah. Cool. Last one. Again, I haven't looked at this one in a while. I did like ATER for a minute. Oh, man. Okay. Today's action very much stresses why I talk about confirmation so often. All right. I know it sounds really, really silly when I say, look, don't worry that today we broke the line for the first time in a while. Wait to see what tomorrow does and then make your consideration like after that. You know what I mean? This is why. It looked like we were about to. Yesterday's candle was sexy. That's the high of the day. Look over there in the box. The high of the day was 0.78. The close of the day was 0.78. Like literally, that's as good as a candle as you can get. I don't really care about wicks much, right? But man, someone ate a fat, hopefully made a good sell and made a lot of money on it. But I hope no one bought up here and watched it drop all the way down here, man. ATER, the whole story here is the 20. Look, good things happen over the 8 and the 20. This thing knows how to run over the 8 and the 20 and make a nice. This thing basically goes from 80 cents to a little more than $1.60, right? Like that's a 2x burger right there over the 8 and the 20, right? Otherwise, this thing just dies under the 8 and the 20 pretty regularly. You know what I mean? So I will not touch this stock under the 20, but I for sure will know that if it can get over the 8 and the 20 and confirm, oh, there's money to be made in this stock. So what would I do? I would set an alert right here. I would set an alert at 78 cents, maybe even set it to 79 cents if you want to just be a little safe, but got to get over the 20. Nothing matters for me on this stock until getting over the 20. So, hey, I appreciate your time so much. Thank you.